We are back. Sunday, pull session, almost an hour, 59 minutes pull session. We hit an 8-miler yesterday. I got some nasty blisters, but we are back in the saddle. Should be a good week, and I'm gonna take you through it. Happy Tuesday. We are back in the saddle, and we have a lot of things just like starting to come together. If that, I don't know what the fuck that was. Coming together makes some sense. So we are back running routinely now. Last week I did a 3, 3, 8. This week I'm doing 3.5, 3.5, 10. And then we'll take a week of kind of like chilling. We'll do 3, 3, 5. See how the body feels, make sure everything's doing well, and then we'll ramp it up. And then that will be into October. So that's our last month before the race in November. That's coming up quick, but we'll get like a good month, a really solid month, a good 4 weeks, I think, of ramping up the volume and the training volume, and then we'll taper it back down, and then we'll be ready for the race. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It is what it is. I'm getting right back into it. I got some new shoes, had some blister concerns on these bad boys. I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of gross, but there's a nice one right here that I have a pair of Hokas. They're the Clifton 8s I got. And they were right here. I put them away because I just washed and relaced them. I am retiring those from any running duties, and those will be only for walking duties. Because as you run, your feet swell up and expand. And so those are just, for me, they ran really narrow. And so as the run went on, my feet just like puffed up. So like, let's say your foot's like this, kind of in the shoe, it just kind of like puffed up because just the blood and just, it started, swelling, 3, 4, 5 miles in. And then it's a problem. So I had to get the wide designation, Hokas, and I got a slightly different brand. It was the Mach 5, I believe. So I got the wide Mach 5s in a half size bigger than what I normally get, just to potentially make sure we're good sizing and stuff. But we're good to go there. In terms of trading in the markets, it's been 2 days. They're 2 red days for me. I've essentially had no winning trades so far this week. We had a good week, or we had a 7-day win streak. We now are on a 2-day lose streak. It is what it is. The market, we're waiting on the next Fed decision. I don't want to have mentally to think about that and say, well, I'm not going to trade today because the Fed is tomorrow. Let the charts decide. And the charts looked good, and the charts just fooled me today. They just didn't work, and that's part of the game, so I'm not really pissed there. But there was 2 things that I took away upon reviews. Probably wouldn't have been stopped out on 2 of the trades. Shouldn't have been stopped out on 1, and the second one technically never actually broke above the level. The options technically did, but the stock never did. And so I'm thinking to myself, just another example of, and the trade would have worked, by the way, would have worked really, really nice. Another example of options kind of screwing me, whereas shares wouldn't have. I have gotten a demo account with the prop firm that I've been looking into, and we are likely to go ahead with them at some point soon. The reason why I want to get the demo, just so that I can get the demo account, practice, see how it will work, because most of these prop firms, you just trade futures and stuff. None of them are like good for just trading shares, or you gotta trade CFDs. It's like a whole thing. But as long as we're good and everything kind of works properly, then I'm fine, and I'm happy to test it out or go with the true challenge account, or whatever they're called, challenges. And that'll be something that we probably do at the end of the year. So we're coming up on that, but like in the end of the year. But I'm just gonna make sure the next couple months I test things out, next couple weeks test things out, so that it works, because I'm worried about spreads getting filled properly, executions. How am I gonna execute this? How am I gonna execute that? Is it gonna be the same as how I have been used to? There's an adjustment period, so I'd rather adjust on a demo account than adjust on a real live account and have a stupid mistake, blow the account, and then have to spend whatever amount of money it is to refund or rebuy the account, whatever. But it could be good, and that's what the plan is. So that is all being done in the background. Just a lot of other stuff. I feel like I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but it's just a lot of other stuff that's going on, a lot of other stuff I'm working on, that's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, I wish I would like pop along for the morning runs. Problem is it's dark. maybe we'll upgrade the phone soon, but I have an iPhone 12, and so like just the front facing camera and stuff, and I guess you can use the other facing camera, but like just the low light's pretty shit, so I'm not gonna record when it's like, that's a problem of the sun now coming up at like 7:15, 7:20, at least where I live. So like, you know, I'm coming back, I'm pretty much back home by that time at the end of the run, so it's starting to get light, but it's just still low light, so it's kind of a shame. But either way, this week on the trails, I'll definitely bring it out, and I'll probably post this video on Saturday afternoon or Sunday. Big slate of college football. That's one last thing I want to mention. I have been on a absolute run, 8 for 8. I'll see if I can pop a screenshot up. 8 for 8 of my sports betting my sports bets for this year. Not that that's something that I, you know, want to brag too much about, because I have been there. I have done that. Back in college, I went on a run. I took an account from $100 to $800. Might sound like nothing to some. For me, when I had no money, it was pretty cool. I was like, okay, for Christmas time, I'm gonna get my brothers and sister this, my parents this, my girlfriend this. We're gonna be good, and we'll have an extra couple $100 for this. Like, that was kind of my thought process. We took 800, try to make it to 1,000, and we bet on one thing, lost it all. So me knowing that, learning from those past mistakes, learning from 19-year-old me, maybe now being 25, a lot of experience, I guess, since then, I took money out, paid myself. I then took a piece of that, bought a new pair of shoes, which to fix my blister problem, bought a new pair of shoes, and then I left a little bit of money in to potentially take a few more bets, but I'm ready for that money to go to zero, because if it does, then my betting for the year is done. That is an overwhelmingly substantial amount of stuff, all packed in and just all in one thing, but that's what these videos are for. So I'm gonna wrap a few things up, and then we're gonna go see The Nun 2 tonight.
Sister, something.
Saturday morning, about to embark on 10 miles. The first time in a few months. We're ready to go. Sun is not up yet, but it's getting there. So let's see what happens. Jesus Christ. Gotta be one of the hottest days of the year. Mornings, at least. Heart rate's not coming down. And we're only a mile and a half in. 1.75 actually. But, I mean, beauty. Just over 4 miles in. It's hot. Jesus Christ. I mean, whew, walking a little uphill, drinking. Almost halfway, but pace is gonna have to be way slower. It's only gonna get hotter. Still beautiful, but just about 7 miles in. A couple more to go, 3 to go. Hot as shit. But I'm walking uphills. Let's start running a little bit and slow it down, but nice and easy. We'll get it done. Officially ran out of water about 0.6 miles away. This is disgusting. I look soaked, I look gross. But back to the car, let's finish it. 10 miles in the books. 10.13 miles. Average pace was actually 11:49. We had burnt over 1,300 calories. And our average heart rate was 156, which is super high. Ideally, I want my average heart rate for like longer runs that I'm running slow to be under 150. But when you're on trails, there's some hills, it's rocky, it's tough. You're always thinking the whole time, so it adds to it. Plus, as you can probably tell, I have an entire towel under me. This is like one of the hotter mornings of the entire summer, and it's actually the first day of fall. Funny how that works, right? It's gonna get cooler after this. Is that vein? Jeez. I'm pretty lean right now, by the way. I'm like down around 169 in the morning, which I'm I'm not restricting anything. I'm putting butter on shit. I'm olive oiling the heck out of I'm having bread dipped in olive oil with vinegar, with balsamic vinegar. If you're Italian, you know what it is. But like, I am not holding back on calories, and olive oil is like one of the more calorie dense foods. But I can't seem to be putting on any weight. I'm actually slowly losing, which is not bad. My gym, and at least my strength in the gym, is honestly, if anything, going up. So I'm happy with it. Physique probably is pushing best I've ever looked ever. But that's not really the only thing. It's more about the functionality of it, is my view now. But that was the day. A lot of shit this past week. Kind of frustrating. So happy to get out here and just work for 2 hours, go for a nice run. I'm hoping, well, it's gonna get cooler. I'm hoping next week is gonna be kind of like a recovery week. So I'm gonna do like 3 runs, but they're all gonna be 5 miles or less. And then the week after that, we'll come back and we'll probably do at least 12 to 13 miles here on the trails. And then we'll probably do like 4-mile runs during the week. So we'll see. We'll just kind of keep building it up. I feel okay. The limiting factor really is the heart rate. It's the pace. It's the heat. You know, if it wasn't this hot, I'm sure I could do this 10 miles. First off, it wouldn't feel as bad. I feel okay, honestly. I don't feel that bad. Like, the body feels pretty good. Yeah, legs are going to be a little bit sore, but like, you just eat and you'll be fine. Sleep today, watch some football, which is what I'm going to do. Penn State got the whiteout game tonight. This is a great slate of games today, so super happy for that. Super excited for that, just to chill. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I think, you know, because the race we got to run is 31 miles. So it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be the longest I've ever run in one day. But, you know, there's no rush. So my kind of game plan right now is 2 hour per lap. So there's 3 laps of a 10-mile track, of a 10-mile, I guess, wooded trail loop. I don't know how technical the trails. Maybe I'll go try to practice there. It's just an hour away. It's just kind of a pain in the ass to get there. Where this place is like 10 minutes away from where I live, so it's easier to get to, and it's great. It's beautiful. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's gonna be, either way, it's gonna be fun. My dad's now coming. My dad's coming down. He's gonna do a 10-mile race, so it's gonna be an interesting weekend. But my plan is, like, you know, if it's cooler, like if it's 70 plus in the morning, it's gonna fuck me up, because then that's only gonna get hotter throughout the day. So that's gonna make paces go way down. And then I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but my game plan is, if I can do it in 2 hours per lap on average, maybe the first lap I'm able to do in like 1 hour and 45, the second lap maybe closer to 2, and then the third lap maybe 2:15 as I fatigue. You know, that's a pretty good pace. That's six hours to do the whole thing, which not gonna get you first place by any means, not gonna get you last. It'll put me in a decent spot in 6 hours, starting at 7 a.m., finishes at like 1 p.m. If I'm doing the math right. It's not bad. You know, you're finishing in the heat of the day. So hopefully it's not super hot, but you know, we'll see. So pumped for that. We're gonna head home. I'm gonna shower up, and we'll be on to the next. This past week in work market-wise stuff, I got some problems going on with one of my channels on YouTube. They fucking just essentially, I don't want to say they demonetized it, but like they really hit the ad rates and they dropped the ad revenue just because of what they said is invalid traffic, as if like I was running bots to videos, which I'm not doing. So cut that ad revenue in half. Other than that though, other work that I was doing and stuff this past week was going fine. Trading wise, just a fucking, I want to keep saying choppy, but like, you know, frustrating week, but not bad. I didn't fucking blow anything up. I just, you know, I lost every day I traded this week. The week before I won every day I traded. You know, it's just how it is. Sometimes that's how the dice rolls, and you know, you live and you move on to the next one. And there's some mistakes I made, but also at the same time, sometimes that's just how it is, and there'll be better weeks to come. So we'll see. This pace though, next year I am planning not really a massive trip, but I will be planning trips, or I'll be more active in terms of like being away or doing stuff. I'll plan that into the schedule ahead of time in August and September. That's just going to be the plan. Just because there's no point of fucking around if this is how the market's going to be. But that's fine. We live and learn, and now head home and fix up something to eat. Probably going to be hungry as shit today. And then on to the football games. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing if you're new. The videos are going to probably pick up when it comes to the training stuff. But I'll see you in the next one. Peace.